It's Manchester City's Premier League world, and the other 19 clubs just living in it. City edging out fellow powerhouse Liverpool last season to go back-to-back, and then 4 out of the past 5 seasons. The only year they did not win it during that stretch, the Reds in 2020. No surprise, the two were atop the betting board, but Manchester City minus 165, well clear of Liverpool's 2-1 odds at Caesars Sportsbook. These were the season awards, again, coming from last year. Kevin De Bruyne, player of the season. Pep Guardiola, who won the title, didn't get manager of the season. The Gaffer Award went to Jurgen Klopp. And then co-winners of the Golden Boot, Heung-min Son and Mo Salah. In terms of Son, did not have one penalty last season, but still matched the Egyptian king with 23 goals. It's crazy, folks. The Premier League is coming back in like 24 hours, and we've got Tomas Rongen and Luis Miguel Echegaray joining us here, LME joining us from Barcelona. All right, guys, so those were last year's awards. We've asked both of you to give us this season's awards, and let's bring that up right now because you're giving your predictions this season, and we're not going to have time to talk about all of them, but you guys differ on both player of the season, manager of the season, young player of the season, Golden Boot. I love it because everything's different, and we're going to tackle 3 breakout topics first. So, Tomas Rongen, I'm going to start with you as we bring you back on camera here. Your player of the season, Kevin De Bruyne, who, in fact, was the one who got away with it last year.
Yeah, and win his third in the last 4 years, which is remarkable. 15 goals, 8 assists. Didn't get going really till mid-year. And Pep Guardiola a few days ago said, Kevin De Bruyne is as fit, as healthy, because Kevin De Bruyne also was injured last year, that he feels with the addition of obviously Haaland, but also Alvarez and still Mahrez there, that this guy could do a double-double. Last year, 15 goals, 8 assists. I expect more goals and more assists as well, because he's going to be relied on to be a guy that provides, but also scores goals. I wouldn't surprise me if this guy is going to reach up double-doubles, 20-plus, 20-plus. By the way, which is Messi-like normally for Barcelona. And, you know, City will vie for the title again, Tommy Tran. They've scored 90-plus on average in the last 5 years, and that's goals. And I think that Kevin De Bruyne is going to play even a more important role, staying healthy, fitter than last year, scored a hat-trick already in preseason. It's his to lose, in my opinion.
Well, my beautiful Dutchman, this Peruvian sees your Belgian and races you a South Korean. My choice, Tommy Tran, is Son Heung-min. I mean, how could you not love this man? By the way, he tied Mohamed Salah, as you mentioned, with 23 goals last season, only 7 assists, but those 23 goals are pretty remarkable, taking in mind that this South Korean does not take penalties or set pieces. Obviously, this is a tricky one to predict because of the World Cup, players like Haaland and Salah are going to be able to take a break. They're not in the competition, but I still believe so much in this man, even with the introduction of Richarlison, because I just think that's going to help his cause, actually. He'll be on the end of the Brazilians' own attempts. He's going to be more free to do his thing. I just think this is the South Korean season to finally tell everybody, I am the man and I'm rooting for him. Son Heung-min is my choice for player of the season.
I love it, and both are sort of the attacking midfielders or distributors, so it's exciting to see both of your guys' selections. Luis, we know, of course, that you're an Aston Villa guy, but when we ask you manager of the season, you're pretty bullish on Spurs this season and Antonio Conte on the pitch.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to go with Steven Gerrard, obviously, but that's my heart getting in the way of my head. I'm going to go with Antonio Conte, and you're right, Tommy Trent. There is a thread here that I'm going with. I am very big on Tottenham, and Man City and Liverpool are clearly going to be fighting for that title. But if there's a club that's really going to give them a headache, I think it's Tottenham. And what you're seeing here, right, is that, by the way, when you think about what Conte has done, when he arrived at Tottenham in November of last year, Spurs were 9th with 5 losses from 7. Fast forward, and now they're in the Champions League once again. And thanks to the director of football, Fabio Paratici, of course, they know each other very well. Daniel Levy finally caving in, ready to spend. Tottenham and Antonio Conte, with a full preseason before him, look very good. Richarlison, Bissouma, Perisic, Lenglet on loan, Jet Spence, and Christian Romero, one of the best center-backs around, is likely to make the move permanent. Tottenham, to me, look very, very good. Yes, the schedule is going to be tricky with the Champions League, but I think that with this squad, with Antonio Conte, a man that knows how to win, he wants to do nothing but do that. I think he's going to do something. I don't think they're going to win the Premier League, but they're going to give a headache. They'll come third, and they'll probably win a cup.
Talking about a guy who knows how to win, Tommy Trent. It's Erik ten Hag now at Man United. I've seen him up close at Ajax, obviously. We've seen what he's done in the Champions League a few years running with a team that's, in terms of salary, way below some of their competitors. He's tactically astute, much better than some of the previous coaches. He won't be treated like a teacher, like Ralf Rangnick was done for most games before and after. There's a clear plan, and as I said again, he's a guy that gets the best out of his players. And if I look at preseason right now, I'm looking at Rashford and Martial, by the way, who only combined for 6 goals last year, but were guys that were 20-plus goal scorers in previous year for Man United, and rejuvenated Sancho, because another thing is his man management is great. So I think that's front three. Yes, there is the big white elephant in the room with Ronaldo, and very clearly the way he deals with that. By the way, is he going to start him or sit him this weekend? And going forward might determine his future. I feel that Man United will fight for third and fourth with Arsenal, Tottenham, and Chelsea. If they make the UCL, which I think is a good chance, I know people say, hey, Thomas, you're absolutely crazy. But if they get there, if they're close, you can't get around the fact that Erik ten Hag has done an incredible job at this massive club this year, and I think he will do that. Eriksen in midfield suits him better. Martinez in the back that they bought from Ajax, obviously. They strengthened their axis. They got 3 players up front that had a pretty good darn preseason with Sancho, Martial, and Rashford.
Did you guys hear that? Luis, you might hear from Barcelona. I think that's a loud roar from Old Trafford. A nice TR embrace, because ever since Sir Alex Ferguson, Moyes, Mourinho, Ole, it's been tough for them. But now it is the Ten Hag era. All right, guys, let's finish up with sort of what we predict. And this is sort of jovial, but it's a thing in Premier League football. The first manager to be sacked. And quite frankly, I think full transparency, last year we thought Mikel Arteta was going to be maybe that lead guy. And all he's done is make a very dangerous Arsenal squad coming into this year. Luis, I'll start with you again. Who do you think is going to be the first manager to get sacked in the Premier League?
Well, usually I'm really bad at this one. In fact, it's good if I say your name because things go the right way. But I think I'm going to be correct in this one, I think. And I hate doing this because it's not all his fault. And perhaps it's Minnesota United still playing in his head rent-free. But Everton, to me, have not done anything this summer that have made me think, yeah, you're going to be better. In fact, Richarlison gone, Dominic Calvert-Lewin is now injured for at least a month as well. This is not a good position for Everton to be. And Frank Lampard, okay, a fantastic midfielder in his time. He's still learning the trade of being a manager, seriously, even with his days at Derby County, etc. Tactically, I haven't seen enough to be persuaded. And now that the squad is worse than it was last season, perhaps it's a bit better defensively, but definitely not offensively. I just don't see another outcome. Scott Parker is another contender for me, but I think Bournemouth, are going to probably get a little bit more of a leeway. I think Everton, Frank Lampard will be the first manager to be sacked. And once again, the Toffees will be back to square one, hoping that Wayne Rooney changes his mind and leaves DC United to come back to Everton. So I just don't see Frank Lampard doing this.
Talking about tactical acumen, you can put Scott Parker in the same mold as Frank Lampard, and maybe
absolutely.
Wayne Rooney, and maybe David Wagner, guys that are very good at lower divisions to bring teams up. He's uncompromising. That style sometimes works in the lower divisions as well. Brought Fulham up 2 years ago, got sacked as well. They only won 5 games. They did not improve at all. I looked at their signings and going, this team, which is also rumored, or not rumored, based on the stats, to go down again, for their in terms of their odds. I think that Scott Parker is in the hot seat. If they don't do well the first 2 months, he could be the first one to go.
It's tough. He's already said we're not ready for the Premier League. It's not what any Bournemouth or Cherries fans wants to hear. Thomas Rongen, Luis Miguel Echegaray, guys, great to be with you. We'll do it again tomorrow. The Premier League begins on Friday, and then this weekend. The Kegel Show podcast are talking about the EPL season. Can another team challenge Man City and Liverpool? Download and follow the guys today.
NFL season begins tonight in Canton, Ohio, home to the Pro Football Hall of Fame and the first NFL action of the year. Do
you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.